In this video, I'm going to show you how I built this chisel rack out of scrap wood because I'm living on other people's offcuts. I'm going to have a problem with one of my tools. I'm also going to use a tool for the first time that inspires me to write a song about it. A love song about it. Maybe just a song about it. And even more so than that, I think I'm going to be a pretty good hang. Enjoy the video. Thank you.
First thing I had to do in order to make this piece was to figure out how many holes I had to make and how big I had to make them. Then I grabbed 3 pieces of scrap wood that I have. I'm living off of other people's offcuts, so I just grabbed ones that were there. Didn't cut anything. I'm just gonna build with what I got. I'm trying to do this quick, trying to do this dirty, trying to live that life as a woodworker on YouTube and pump out videos because you folks want to see them and I want to make them. And if we don't do that, what are we doing here, people? What are we even good for, huh? I don't remember what measurements I did here, but I did some measurements in order to create some sort of consistency, and then I went to my trusty Milwaukee drill bit container, which is terrible. It sucks. If you noticed a couple of seconds ago, I was struggling to get a drill bit out of it because they fit in there very, very tight. Grabbing a sharp object that has a twirl to it and trying to yank it out on the sharp edge of it is stupid. It is a dumb product. I do not suggest it. I need to build something in the future so that I don't ever have to use it again because I feel like I'm gonna yank my fingers away and slice off all of my fingerprints. Moving on, now that I got that super scary drill bit out, I started drilling holes. You will find out soon enough in this video that me drilling these particular holes was completely pointless, and I'm showing you because as much as I know what I'm doing, I also recognize that I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'll be damned if it doesn't feel productive and good in every way that it should to drill a bunch of holes into a piece of wood. Whoa, that was like a rhyming haiku.
Garth, that was a haiku.
These are the beautiful cinematic shavings that I got from drilling that amount of wood. How much of this am I going to show you? That is the question that we get to in a woodworking video at a certain point in time, right? How much am I going to show you of one arduous part of the process before you get bored and click off to go watch another video? I mean, it looks beautiful. I feel a personal attachment to it, but how am I supposed to know that you, as a viewer, have no interest? I don't. I have to make guesses, and then I have to post it online and wait to look at a graph. I like this energy. I'm going to keep this going. I decided to show you that I clean up after myself. Back to what is actually going on. I did need to figure out what order I wanted to put my chisels in the rack. And so it's 9 by 9. I've got 5 sets of chisels. And this is how it kind of all laid out, which then gave me the idea to start making circles and marking all of them so that I knew how wide they'd have to be. I had to go over to my buddy Bill's house and borrow his Forstner bits because I didn't have any. But anyways, I went over to Bill's house, checked out his wood shop. He loaned me these Forstner bits so that I didn't have to try and use my scroll saw to cut out those holes to specific sizes. Instead, I could just put in these beautiful Forstner bits and just drill them out automatically, which yet again, I'm being really honest with you here. Drilling all those holes, as much fun as it was completely pointless. It was dumb. I didn't need to do it. What I should have done is looked a little bit ahead in time to see what I needed to do and figured out that I needed to borrow these from somebody in the first place. But that's just a stupid, long-winded way to say I am in love with Forstner bits. They are incredible. So much so, I wrote a song about Forstner bits that goes like this.
Holy shit. satisfaction of a Forstner bit. The way you rotate and spit out all of those shavings from the top of the wall to the bathroom stall. If you need a hole to run wires or stick your pole, this is it. You need a Forstner bit.
Wow. What a great song. Now that I was done using my new love obsession Forstner bit, I moved on to making little slits in the side of the top so that I could push the shaft of the chisels into place. It doesn't make sense to try and make the holes wide enough so that they fit straight down. I went onto my bandsaw, started cutting those holes, and pretty soon I realized that I actually couldn't reach the center hole on either side with my bandsaw. So, got out that jigsaw, clamped the piece down, plugged this SOB in, and as you can see, just shook the living hell out of my work table, my workbench, and cut out the last of those holes because, I don't know, I finished a job once I started. That's why I did it. I don't know, I had to do it. That's how I did it. Now it was time to start putting the finishing touches on things, and so I grabbed my Dremel and started giving myself just a little bit of a chamfer just to give the piece a little something, a little roundness, a little refinement, and then my Dremel died, so it's dead. That battery is dead. I had to start recharging it. That's how things go. While that was recharging, I decided to start doing my measurements and marking for where the center and bottom were going to be. I could start centering that and could pre-drill holes. This is when I started experiencing the problem with the tool that I told you about in the beginning of the video. It was the drill. Something happened where the light on the drill started flashing and it would stop working. Obviously, the battery must be dead. So, I changed the battery, put in a new one, a fresh one that I knew I had recharged not 2 days before. Boom. Same issue, same dumb problem. And it pissed me off.
I'm going to show you what the problem is and how to fix it with this cobalt screwdriver. Don't pay attention to the fact that I obviously made this video at 3 different points in time. When you're using this drill, if you depress the trigger too slowly, for some reason it just shuts the whole thing down. This light will start blinking. As you can see in the video, the light was blinking. The solve to it is to make sure that when you release the trigger, you do it quickly. You can kind of flick it. And it'll reset it and then you can start using it again. It's dumb. It's stupid. I hate that about this. I look forward to the day that I can replace this with something that doesn't do that dumb thing.
Moving on. So I ended up grabbing my corded drill that I picked up from a garage sale a couple of weeks ago while my buddy Josh Dirks was in town. Dirty was here. That was a good time. I guess I could show you a picture or two of us hanging out. Yeah, so whatever. I switched over to the corded drill. I was switching over bits anyways. I was being dumb. I should have had this set up anyways instead of fiddling with my bits. Long story short, I went through this dumb, convoluted process of pre-drilling holes on the top and the bottom and then putting in screws, pointing out a little bit so that I could make a depression to see where to drill the other pilot holes for the center. That's a concise way of saying what I did. The edit might say otherwise, but I got it done while one of my batteries for the Cobalt was charging. Long story short, I got it done. And after I had all of that stuff pre-drilled and set up, it was time to put the finishing touches. And so I brought out my belt sander. I started putting a nice 45-ish degree angle on all the edges of the top. Look at me just working it like a violin. What does that look like? It looks like me casually holding a kid underwater. Just casually dunking a kid's head, messing with somebody, just casually dunking someone's head underwater and just kind of holding them there. But yeah, I smoothed it. Anyways, I smoothed everything out and made sure to hit all the pieces. You know, I skipped where the top met the center, pretty much the whole centerpiece. I skipped that because that part should meet at like a 90-degree angle. I think that aesthetically makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Oh, and thanks for subscribing, seriously. For the folks who actually watch this, who watch me quickly clean up, because you have to show a little bit of the cleanup, right? That's like making an action movie where nobody ever takes a dump. That doesn't make sense. That's not how life works. I show you that I have to clean up. But anyways, once I was done cleaning up, I could start assembling. Put this beast together. I grabbed some overly long, strong screws and put them in there. And they actually do hang over a little bit, so the ones on the bottom, I just pinched them in, just kept running them until they pulled in enough to sit flat, flush. And then, you know, put the chisels in there, start shooting those beauty shots. Man, project done. Looks good, right? This is a much better way to respect my tools than how I had it before. That makes me a happy person. And then I do some sort of outro here for you. Oh, no, look at that. Smug.